Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live episode of the Man to Man podcast. I am James Howard Jr., and this is,
Raph Peters, what's going on?
we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in on today. One, thank you for those of you who are on right now, who are on watching live, and we'd like to thank all of you who are watching this on the replay as well. So, y'all, we got a special episode planned for y'all. We're excited about it. This is our second live episode. Our goal is to do this probably every other week or so, something like that. We'll figure out.
I'm with every week at this point now.
I was too, man. I was ready last week, but I was like, I don't want to start something I can't finish. But I think we'll eventually get there. I think we'll eventually get there. So anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning in. For those of you who are brand new to the live stream, brand new to this this podcast, my name is James Howard Jr. I'm a youth pastor out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And we do this ministry to help men honor God in every single part of their lives. That's the whole point of Men to Men ministry, the Men to Men podcast, the Men to Men YouTube page, and all the stuff that we do online is to help men honor God in every part of their lives. And this is our, we're co-hosts, I guess, co-hosts together. And this is the co-host, the other host, your other host, Raph. So introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, name Raph Peters, church planner in Houston, Texas. Church we planted, Soldier and Southside. Just love the Lord, love culture, love being able to develop men and walk with men as we figure out what it means to follow Jesus in the context of everyday life. So I love it. I'm with it.
That's good, man. And so you'll be hearing from us a lot, man. We're doing this thing. We really feel like first of all, we have a heart for God, and then we have a heart to really see men really grow. We both understand that men, God has called us to be a solid foundation in this world, in our communities, and our families, even most importantly. And when the dads and the husbands and the men of the culture are strong, man, everything is strong. Everything can build off of us, because it's the way God designed it for us to stand strong and to support our wives, support our families, and support our communities. So that's why we do what we do right here. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. We got a couple of comments. My wife is on. She said, "Good morning." Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
All right. And so we're excited about having her on there. We got a couple other people that said they're gonna hop on, man, but we're gonna keep it rolling. So today, man, we coming up on Christmas, right? Christmas is coming up. What is that next week? It's not next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well,
it's next week.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Christmas Eve on next Sunday. So I mean, it's not this coming week, but yeah, it's the next week.
Well, we got a couple more gifts. I say a couple more. We probably only got one gift out of like the 50 bazillion gifts we gotta get for teachers and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, y'all doing teachers too?
Man, we doing teachers. Man, we try to show love to everybody that we appreciate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we got stuff, man. We got plans, but we need to roll on that, man. I just stressed myself out right there. Just stressed myself. There go. I got my mama. My mama said, "Good morning." Hey, mama, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Gotta love it, man. And so, as we go into the Christmas season, we know this can be a stressful time. Yeah. With that stress can come a lot of other things. And so to kind of relieve some of the stress for us, for those of you who are watching right now, we're gonna play a little game. Y'all cool with that? You cool with playing a game, Raph?
Let's do it. I'm ready, baby. Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, you're gonna be cool. So I'm gonna be this ain't Family Feud, but Steve Harvey is my favorite game show host. It's really the only game show host that I actually watch. So I'm not gonna do an impersonation, but we're gonna play a little game. So this is a game that I created titled the Emoji Christmas Songs. If you follow me on social media, we played the first version of this game. I posted it online. You can check that out on my Facebook page. Just had a little fun with some of the followers. So what is going to happen is they're going to be a set of emojis that pops up on the screen. And so you have to guess what Christmas song those emojis represent. And those of you who are watching live, you can go ahead and leave a comment too. Leave your answer. For those of you who are watching on the replay, y'all can leave your comment too and see if you can get it before we say the answer. And so we're gonna jump right into it, man. You ready?
Yes, sir.
How are you with emojis? You an emoji dude? You like using emojis?
I be using them, but I don't be knowing if it's the right one. So we about to see.
You be texting people, they be like,
"Hey,
what
is
really
this?
You really gotta
Yeah.
stop texting that emoji. I don't think you know what that means. Yeah. Anyway, so we gonna roll with this one, man. Right. Let's roll with the first one. Let's see if you can get this one. All right.
All Christmas songs, right? Okay.
All Christmas
guitar. Is that a refresh? Christmas tree. Guitar. Is that the recycle sign? Is that a refresh sign? What is that?
Nah, it's just guitar? Like a.
That's an electric.
I'm gonna let you figure it out.
I'm electric. It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie. That's not it. This is Christmas.
It is? Christmas.
I don't know. Hey, can anybody get that? Can anybody get that one? Oh, dang. I don't know, bro. That one crazy.
All right, what y'all think in the comments? Those of you who are watching live, what do y'all think this emoji represents a Christmas song? What do you think it is? I'm gonna give everybody like 10 seconds trying to figure it out. My wife says no clue. I'm stuck. My dad said hello.
Hello, it's me. I got songs in my heart, but it ain't the right one.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all 5, 4, 3, 2.
Guitar refresh Christmas tree.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Okay. Okay. I can see that.
There you go. All right, cool. Let's clear this out. Let's see. We're gonna move to the second one. Let's see if y'all can get this one. All right.
Give me some black ones.
My mom said sing around the Christmas tree. That was close, Mom. That's pretty close.
That was.
All right.
That was.
Let's get this one.
Better than me. Leg time apple. That's a leg, right? Clock apple. Leg clock. Kick.
What is it? Is it showing up weird?
Switched up. Oh wait. Yeah, now it's house Christmas tree. I saw Santa going down the chimney. Dang. I house Christmas tree. Okay, so I'm guessing the I is see or saw something at the house under the Christmas tree, or something like that.
This one was a little hard. I had to look at the answer real quick. Let me see if y'all know in the comments.
You set me up.
I set you up because I saw it. I was like, wait, what's that? I had to look at the answer.
Couple weeks ago, we did like a practice round. Like, hey, this is what we gonna be doing.
It
was all the easy ones.
It was all the easy ones. Man, I had stepped up, man. All right, I'm gonna show this one to y'all because this one's a little bit harder right here. I'll be home for Christmas. The I think the I. Home.
Yeah, the I threw me off.
Through everybody else. The actual I ball. There we go. Let's clear this one. I think y'all gonna get this next one, man. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, because they had a game like this with like Bible. It was like Bible trivia. Yeah, facts. Right, I appreciate somebody. Somebody got.
Y'all know this one. Come on.
Granny. Oh, Granny ran over the reindeer or Rudolph or something like that. Granny ran over. God.
All right, anybody know the exact name? What y'all think?
Granny did.
You close. You close.
Granny.
What do y'all think?
Granny hit the reindeer.
All right, Granny hit the reindeer. Man, you so close.
Granny ran over.
So close.
Granny ran over. It ain't ran over the reindeer.
It's ran over.
I saw Granny. Granny ran over Rudolph.
All right, my wife finally she got one. She got right here. It says
Grandma got ran
over by a reindeer. Let's see what your answer. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I can't even think of how that song go right now. How that song go?
See, look.
I don't know. I don't know. There we go. All right, let's move on to y'all know this one. Y'all go get this one.
I'm gonna go ahead and get Silent Night. Bet.
That was the answer to the other one, the practice round, bro.
That was.
It was.
Okay. Will we
come on?
Jingle bells, right?
Ooh, close.
It ain't jingle bells. I see a bell and a metal bells. Silver bells.
There it
That
is.
it?
Look at the boy.
Hey, and I saw
He-
that bad boy. Hey,
I even got you singing on that one. Silver
Ah,
Bell.
hey,
Did you point?
I
Did
know
you
a little
point when you
something.
trying to go up?
Hey,
Uh,
hey. I gotta hit
uh,
them runs.
right.
Oh man,
Oh man.
let's
Oh,
go.
oh yeah. Yeah. Y'all got this one, man. Come on now.
So you seen it beforehand? Nutcracker. Nope. Wait, what? Oh,
Don't
where
let
we
the
at?
egg
Is
go
this it
down.
right here?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a little bit slow on my end.
Egg, fire, acorn. Is that an acorn? What's the first name? Mushroom?
I can't tell you what it is. I'll
Oh,
give you the answer.
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Crack, fire. Man, I can't tell what this look like one of them emojis I be sending, and I don't be knowing for sure what it is.
No, you know, he be like,
Cause you,
yeah,
hey,
I'm gonna send it though. I'm gonna just
you know,
send it
for a
though.
while, what
Hey,
they
my wife
use
in
is
the
like the
roll.
poop
There
emoji.
you go. You
Chestnuts
said
roasting on an open
chestnuts
fire.
roasting. Come on, everybody. Everybody sing it. Hold on,
What
open
is it,
fire.
Jack Frost? Some
Looking at your face. Yeah, there you go. Man, y'all give me
hey,
started.
low key, that kind of looked like the poop emoji that I used to use
It
for the
does.
chocolate. I thought it was chocolate ice cream when I first saw it. So I used to use it for like chocolate ice cream, and I'd be sending it to
Bruh,
people, and they'd
no,
be like,
you lying, bruh.
"Nah,
You lying. First of
why?
all, why was you
Why
sending
does
chocolate?
the
Why was
emoji?"
you sending chocolate ice cream emojis to people?
All right. First of all, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Why does it have eyes? Why does it have eyes? Like I'm trying to figure that out. Like
Why
it
would
looked
ice
too
cream have
happy.
eyes, bruh? Why
I'm
it
saying
looked too happy to be poop? Is that what you
it
said?
looked too happy to be poop, bro. So for a while, I
This
was just
dude,
like, "Hey,
man. Come on. People was probably
let's go
like,
get some cold stone, some
you
marble
want some what?
slab." They like,
What you
wait a
want to
minute,
go get?
nah.
Nah, bro. I'm good. I'm busy. I
They
got
did.
something. I got something. Let's do a couple more.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
skip ahead to this one right here. All right.
So we need to go ahead. We need to do these Christmas carols. We go ahead and make it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, Rudolph is in the title though.
But Rudolph went running because hey, two people went running with Rudolph.
You got all of the words, but they just not in the right order.
Rudolph ran with
Anybody in
two
the comments
people.
know?
Two people ran with Rudolph. This seemed like one of the ones I ain't grow up listening. I grew up listening to Go Tell It on the Mountain. Shoot,
Come on.
what is this,
Come
bro?
on now. My wife got it, man. You want me to show her answer?
Please, because she got to help me out. Because
Run, Rudolph. Run,
how does that? I ain't never
Rudolph.
heard.
So no.
Oh, hey, what movie was that? What movie?
I don't
Hey,
know. I'm sure it was in a lot of movies, but I don't know the words. That's why I said it had to say.
was that?
My
That's
dad got
correct.
it
I
too.
think that
A
was on Home Alone.
little later, but it's whatever. I think stuff may be showing up a little late, y'all, because my internet looks like it's not the best right now. But hey, we're gonna keep it rolling. All right, we got two more, and the last one is gonna be impossible. I'm just gonna say that for everybody. It's just gonna be impossible.
That'd be
All
the
right,
one
got
I
one
get.
more.
Watch.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the one you get. All right, probably not.
I ain't
Probably
got
not.
none, bro. This is sad.
I mean, but you got some in the no, you didn't get any, bro. I was gonna
I
say maybe the
did.
Lord helps you out with that one.
Dang.
No.
There's a squirrel, there's a tree, there's an X, there's a clock, and there's a calendar. Now is this a squirrel or is this a chipmunk? Because that would give me
It was
out.
a chipmunk. I will give you that.
Okay. I guess the stripe is giving it away. Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas edition.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you that one, dude. All right. So having the chipmunks
Hey,
on Christmas don't be late. You know,
that's
they
correct. Hey,
sung
you
all the
gave it.
Christmas
That
songs,
was
they just put it. There we go. That's pretty good right there. All right, and the last one, my wife said something about loving CeeLo's version. I don't know if that was this one. I don't think he had a chipmunk version, but I think it was the last song. I
that's
can't remember who
funny.
did. Run Rudolph. Yeah, Run Rudolph. CeeLo Christmas album, dude. Have you heard it?
Hey, Nah, but
It's nice.
anything CeeLo gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be
Anything.
nice. All right, last
Yeah.
one. Like I made this and I had to do like Google stuff in order to find the name to this song right here.
Okay. Dandelion. What kind of flower is that, bro?
It represents a place. The flower represents
Oh,
a place.
Hawaii.
Mhm.
Am I right? Okay.
Yep.
Surfing, Hawaii, surfer, sunset, Hawaii, sunset, surfer.
I don't even know how to
Christmas tree.
pronounce it, dude. Honestly, if I'm
Bruh.
to be honest.
Hey, this is like escape. I can never be. If you ever go to escape room, don't let me be your teammate, because we would be locked
We ain't
up.
gonna
We
make
would
it
never
out.
get out.
We ain't gonna make it out, man.
I ain't never go. Hey, I be looking crazy. I be like looking like I know what I'm doing. I just be saying stuff. Oh, you see them numbers on the wall? Hey, put that in.
Right.
Put that in.
There we go.
It's like, brother, this is the room number. This is nothing
We
to do
made
with
an
the game.
escape room for our youth during camp one year, man, and them kids got so frustrated, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anybody on the live stream know this? Maybe you're watching this on the recap, not the recap, the replay. What is your answer? I'm gonna give everybody 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. That I don't even know how to say it, but you've heard the song before. You've heard the song, right?
I've heard the song.
Yeah, you heard
Go
it.
sing it, bro. Sing it, bro.
You see what's saying? See the way that my voice set up right now, in the way that the temperature in
hey,
the room,
we in this together, brother.
I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Joyful noise.
I don't even know how to pronounce that word. If y'all know how to pronounce it, y'all can say it. There you go. All right.
We need to play this song at some point. Maybe next episode.
I don't know if we can play it.
Hey, remember that?
You might get shut down, man. You know they be shutting us down.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Anyway, so that was just a little Christmas fun right there. We had a lot more, but hey, we're gonna keep it rolling. All right. My mom said that my dad got that one. That would be something that he would get. He knows like songs that people don't normally know.
That's right. He been around the world.
Probably get that. He been around the world.
Yeah.
Been around the world. He said he was so close. He was so close. There we go. All right, man. So yeah, dude, that was a little Christmas fun for those of you. If you weren't in the Christmas spirit, that should have got you into the Christmas spirit. And if it didn't,
now you're here.
It ain't my fault. It's your fault. Right?
Silver
because, man, we talked about this last episode, man. We've been decorating the house for Christmas for a while. So we've been in
Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving? Hey, October 31st. Hey, it was Christmas already. They're like, we celebrating holiday. No, not at my house. Jesus is Lord at my house.
Yeah. Man, I was at I was doing some stuff at a local school with the Christian organization First Priority, man. And I started to talk about Christmas like right before they went out for Thanksgiving break. And this girl, man, she was like, Thanksgiving hasn't come yet. Like she was dead serious. And I was like, all right, calm down. I was in the middle of preaching. And I was like, had to play it off, man. So people
not in the middle of a sermon.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a little talk, man. And then last week when we went, we said something about it. And she was like, yeah, try to skip Thanksgiving. I was like, y'all, she's still a little bitter. It's okay though.
Can't even get an amen, okay. But you can tell me Thanksgiving is an
can't get an amen, right? Yeah, pray for it, man. Man, so that was it, man. If y'all have not in the Christmas spirit, like I said, that hopefully would have got you into the Christmas spirit. But man, let's dive into it, man. Christmas is coming up. We understand that the reason for the season is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And we've been talking about that with our students here at the church. I know you've been talking about it right at your church. And we even talked about some things we doing off with our families and stuff, with like Advent and different things like that. And so we understand the core and the meaning of this time of the year. But if we can be real, if we can be honest, man, a lot of us like those gifts though. We like those gifts, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I love the Lord and I understand the meaning of this. I like the gifts though. I do, right? I can praise the Lord, love the Lord, and still want something, you know.
Yeah, we wired
he
that
provides
way.
all of our needs, right?
Right. So that's why he gave us the greatest gift. Come on now.
Yes, we got the greatest gift. I got that gift, so that's all I need.
Hey.
But I'll take something else if you won't give it to me.
Hey, right.
So
He said, hey, these gifts mirror that gift. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
All right, cool. My wife said she had to go back to work. Thank you for tuning in. All right. All right, cool. So let's talk about some of the best gifts we got. Right. It can be as a kid, something that's nostalgic, something that you got recently, something like that, man. Let's talk about that. Let's start with you. I feel like I've been talking.
Oh, you gonna start with me? Nah, you good. Because I was gonna say, I don't want to dog my parents, because I did have a couple good Christmases, but as a spoiled child at the time, I wouldn't have said that. I would have been like, man, it was only, I could count with 2 fingers the amount of good Christmases that I did have. But best Christmas had to be, it was, I think it was memorable. 2003. It might have been 2003. I think I might have said 2004 early as I was thinking about it. But 2003 probably was the most memorable. So PlayStation 2, it came out. And it came out in like 2000, I think. So like 3 years later, I finally get, on the train with everybody else. And I asked my parents. I didn't think I was going to get it. I'm going to be honest. Because I asked them for the console and games and some other stuff and some money. So I'm just going crazy. And the previous year, I only got a bike. So I'm really going crazy. So I asked for the game.
Only got a bike, huh?
And I wake up, man, only. And it was sad, bro. It was, my parents they went out of their way to give me that bike. But but yeah, so I asked for the PlayStation. I remember waking up that morning, biggest box. I'm going for it. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be it. And my dad, man, he funny, boy. He always used to try to trick me, man. And so he actually put PlayStation in a microwave box. And I'm like, I'm opening it up. I see the microwave. So I'm the previous year, I only got a bike. And I cried about only getting that bike. Bike will $50. They left the receipt on the ground outside. I said, we only could afford $50. So granted, following year, we get it. I open up the Christmas present. It's a microwave box. Boy, I started watering. I was about done. I ain't even want to open it up. I'm like, hey, my dad's like, go ahead, go open the box. Open the box.
Right.
So I opened up
the box. You really thought they got you a microwave.
Man, facts, boy. I said, y'all done proved me wrong the last time. I ain't even asked for a bike that year. I got a bike. So yeah, so opened it up, saw another box. So just like at this point, like he really trying to, make me experience something very traumatic that I got to deal with later on in life. And then finally I opened up the next box, and there it was. I mean, in all of its glory, black and beautiful. The PS2 right there. And I mean, what really made that fire, bro, was that year. I think it was like, it wasn't Madden 03, it was Madden 04, because they always do a year ahead. And so Madden 04, I think Mike Vick was on the cover. So it was fire, man. This was before he got arrested and all the other stuff. This was in the prime of his, day. Everybody wanted to be Vic, like everybody wanted to be Mike, especially if you play football.
Right.
You cut the game on, you get the EA Sports, it's in the game. Like that's just nostalgic. Then you get on that main screen. I think that year soundtracks, bro, we don't talk enough about games soundtracks. So like you got like NBA Live. Back then, NBA Live was fire before 2K.
Right.
And NBA Live, bro. NBA Live that year, I think they had like Black Eyed Peas, Outkast. They had the Brat. They had Clips. They had MC Light. They had all these fire. Like when you got on the game and you heard one of your favorite artists on there, it just made the experience just that much better.
It just make you want to stay on the menu so you can just listen to the song.
Yay. And all you doing is you jamming. You playing and jamming, boy. And so Bone Crusher would come on. I ain't never. And so, bro,
so,
it was
didn't
crazy.
They used to have it? Didn't they used to have it with some games? You can go to like a soundtrack. They can go to the settings and listen to the actual music.
And just listen to yes.
It's like it was a CD. I remember that.
Yeah, NBA Live did that. So NBA Live had like a separate CD. I want to say Street Volume 2, Street Ball. Was it Street Ball? Dang, what was NBA Street? NBA Street. Yeah, they had a separate CD too. But that was the thing, bro. Back then, like I used to I used to play that, and it was funny because we didn't play secular music in my house. So they were like, you can keep the game, you got to throw away the CD though. I'm like, but it's on the game. It's on the game. So the only way I can listen to secular music would be playing the game. I couldn't listen to it just putting it in the radio in the CD player. But yeah, man, I think 04, 03 was like the best year because it was like PlayStation. I got Madden, I got NBA Live, which again, Live was way 2K. The graphics were trash back then. I was just like, if you like 2K, you trash. But NBA Live back then was fire. I know when they got the dunk contest, that was crazy. I also got what's that? It was a car racing game, bro. It wasn't Need for Speed. Bro, it's gonna bother me now. It was something. It wasn't Need for Speed Underground. It was something else, bro. Everybody used to play it though, but I had got that game too. Remember. I could see it in my head. We'll have to talk about it next time. Yeah,
we'll have to find it, man.
Yeah,
man. So,
but
here's the thing.
That was great.
You talk about doing tricks and stuff like this, man. So, dude, man, I was honored. I was honored earlier this year or last year, man, to be able to like trade in some of my old game systems and get a PS5, right? And so it's pretty cool, man. Like, I ain't trying to flex anything, but like it happened. I was pretty excited about it, right? And so I had my PS5 box in my closet like around Christmas time or something, I think last year or something like that. And I got these cousins who are teenagers. We try to get them stuff and try to help them out, man. Just get them stuff, you know. It ain't like they don't need the help or anything like that. We love them, so we want to provide them something, right? And so it just be little stuff like little gift cards. So I told my wife, man, I said, hey, I think I want to wrap up the gifts in my PS5 box so they can open it up and think they got a PS5 from us, bro.
No, you did.
She said, don't do it. So, bro, I wanted to do it so bad, man. So bad. So Jeremiah, Aiden, if y'all watching, man, Mo, TT Nikki, whatever y'all call her, man, she saved y'all. Because I was spending, I ain't care about no feelings. I was about to be rolling on the floor. I wanted them to be hype and open it up and see like a $5 McDonald's gift card up in there or something like that, and some rocks at the bottom to make it feel happy, make it feel heavy. But I ain't do it, man. But I still got the box in there, man. I still got the box in there. I'm gonna get somebody. That would have been dirty. I'm gonna get somebody. It would have been dirty, and that would have been fine. It would have been fine, man. But yeah, my pops is saying Gran Turismo. Was that the one?
Nah, it wasn't It wasn't Gran Turismo. Now, Gran Turismo, that was kind of like a real legit. This was like street like racing.
Yeah.
Dang, it's gonna bother me, boy.
I tell you something about my pops, man. During that time, it was middle school, and I didn't realize how relevant my pops was until like later on in life, because as it was happening, it was just embarrassing. But homeboy would know all the songs to the Outkast, all the words to the Outkast songs, like "Sorry Miss Jackson," like all that. When it was coming out, like he would be right around the house just singing it and stuff like that. And even here recently, he was doing JROTC before he retired, man. And he'd be talking about the different dances and the different things that the kids would have, man. Man, my pops, man, he coming with a couple of responses.
Is he
Street Racer?
I found it, bro. It was Midnight Club.
Midnight Club. I don't know if I ever did play that one.
Yeah,
I'm scared to type that into Google.
it ain't nothing crazy gonna come up. It ain't nothing crazy gonna come up. It's it was like one of those first. It was kind of like Need for Speed Underground, where you could kind of you could customize your car and stuff like that. But yeah, Midnight Club.
Oh, I remember Midnight Club.
And it was mainly the soundtrack was crazy. Yeah, so like, you know, huge hip hop fans. So really all of those games, bro, they really back then. I feel like now it's a lost thing, bro. I feel like now you got different people trying to get their songs on games where it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Like we used to get some fire tracks on some of these games, and now it's just like it's the market is watered down. Everybody doing it, bro. It's like hip hop, man. Everybody sounding But back then, bro, yeah, used to pop that into the CD player right there.
Man, I tell
But a
you what,
little
man. So
time.
I would say probably my best gift that I ever received for Christmas. It's crazy because it's the same gift, most memorable gift. As a kid was a PlayStation 2. It really was.
Yeah.
And so, but here's how here's how my mom and dad finessed us, right? Because it wasn't me or my brother's PlayStation, but it was my dad's PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It was my
Right.
dad's PlayStation. And so they made it a point to say, well, we got your dad this PlayStation, but y'all can play it. Y'all can, man.
Right.
And so I was like, yo, I don't even care. Dad, can I play your PlayStation, man? Dude, it was so tight. So that had to be like probably 02. 02, I think,
Yeah.
maybe when it came out. I don't even know if we got it when it came out. I don't even know. 02, 03, around that time. That's when
I mean,
you
that
know
was
what?
close,
No,
bro.
it had to be before that. Had to be before that because it
Yeah.
was before high school. So I ain't start high school till 02.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
There it is. So that thing, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I played that thing until I probably played that thing until I graduated. Until I graduated high school.
Daddy didn't even get a chance to play it.
I don't even know if Pops ever played it ever in his life. I just don't know. Maybe the times I asked him to play with me or whatever. But
the way he naming these games,
man,
he had to play something. That's for sure.
He did. So he probably played when we were asleep or something. He probably had like an underground, like, you know, game ring going on or something. Right.
That's
Cool, man.
hilarious, boy.
So that's it, man. Y'all leave in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. What is the best or most memorable Christmas gift you ever received?
Yeah,
it'll be good. I think next stream, man, we'll talk about maybe like the worst Christmas gift you ever, or the most disappointing, right?
Man,
because you know, as kids, man, we'd be ungrateful, and it'd be good stuff. We get like bikes, and then we just be like, ah, man, I don't know, bike.
Hey, let me not lie. Even as an adult now, like so my wife already know for Christmas, don't surprise me. Don't get me something. I got a specific list with links. Use this one of these. Don't go out. If you go outside, just know I'm gonna be disappointed and you gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be hurt and you gonna be hurt. Let's just not even get in there. So yeah, we'll have to break that down. But I don't know if my wife want to watch that one.
Yeah, my wife, man, she was like, I don't like shopping for you. She said, I just don't, because I'm like you. I'm pretty vocal about my gifts, man. And I even told my mama we had this conversation, mama. So this ain't no surprise if you still watching. But she would buy me like art sets and stuff like that. And so she finally asked me like last year, like, hey, yeah, you like it? I was like, mama, it kind of stressed me out a little bit. She said, boy, why didn't you tell me? She said, I'm sitting here buying all these art sets because that's what I did in high school. I did painting and I did stuff. Every once in a while, I still do it.
Yeah.
But man, I about got beat, man. Because she was like, man, I'm wasting my money, wasting my time, getting you something I think you like. And so I had to be straight up. Had to be straight up with mom, man. But my wife, man, she was just like, you just gonna have to send me. And I literally sent her a notes link to my notes app with links and stuff like that, just simple stuff. And she was just like,
that's easy, bro. Bro, you can't mess that up. I don't see how that's hard, because my wife say the same thing. She's like, you're hard to give gifts to. And I'm like, how? I tell you every single thing you need. You ain't got to guess with me.
See, this first year I haven't done that for myself though, because I was pretty hard about gifts for her. Because here's the thing, man, a lot of the stuff I want, like one item is like the whole budget that we give each other, right? For Christmas, right? We set it on a certain amount. You say, man, you can spend this many monies on it or whatever. And most of the stuff I want is gonna be like the whole thing. And so I'm a little difficult because I like to get multiple things for Christmas, right? Or for birthday or whatever. I like to get multiple things, but then at the same time, I like expensive stuff. And so my wife is just like, bro, that don't match, man. That don't match. You can't ask for Xbox Series X and then think that you're finna get this, and that too. Like you're gonna get that. That's gonna be it, right? You know,
extend the budget for your boy.
Right, you have to do that, man. So I lowered some of my expectations for this year and sent some simple things just so I could, because I like to open gifts. I'm like a big old kid and stuff like that, man. All right, man. So Do anything else for the Christmas gift stuff you want to add if we move to
Nah,
the
I
next
think
part?
I think if we hit on worst Christmas gifts next time, that'll be plenty of time to hit on some other things.
Cool, man. So y'all leave it in the comments if you haven't already. And if you're watching this
Yeah.
on YouTube, I want you to go ahead and subscribe. We have live broadcasts every 2 weeks. That's the goal. That's what we're going for. Eventually, we'll get
Yeah.
to every week. We'll see what our wives say about that, and then we'll go from there. But from now, if you want the latest and greatest of the Men to Men podcast, make sure that you are subscribed to YouTube, and then you can also follow us on our personal page, James Howard Jr. on Facebook. What is your whole name on Facebook?
It's my whole name, which is crazy. Raphael Duane Peters. So Duane is my middle name, but Raphael Raphael. But on Instagram at Raph.Peters.
Instagram.
Yeah.
There you go. So you can stay tuned on all of that. And then we also have email lists that we got going out. I don't have all the information today. I don't know what's going on with that, but we're gonna have that coming up soon as well. And so make sure that you do that before we do that. But most importantly, make sure that you make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. And then we also have this podcast. It's a little bit different of a format because we just focus on the interviews and then like the real talk and like lessons that we do. We take that out of this podcast, take this out of the live stream, and we put just that part on the podcast. So if you want more of a focus, serious kind of intentional time, we have an actual podcast on Apple and Spotify that you can just listen to right there. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna continue to roll on, man. We're gonna jump into this next part. And it's probably part of the title that we had posted, depending on where you were watching. And so we're going to specifically talk now to this ain't like newlyweds, but younger married couples. Specifically, if you've been married 5 years or less, there's some things we want to talk about. One thing that I see, man, for this time of the year with Thanksgiving, all holidays, Christmas, a lot of drama is surrounded about like whose family you're gonna go see, right? If you're gonna go to this family, you're gonna go to her family, you're gonna go to this and or that. And so that's something I know that we had to work through, that we had to make sure that we talked about and communicated about, and kind of got into a flow of it, and then everything changed when you get kids, because grandparents want to see that, man. And so we're gonna talk about a couple of tips for the young married folks who are watching. If you know young married folk that ain't watching, go ahead and send them the link to this here video so they can get this stuff. And if you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you send this to them as well. And so we got a couple of things that I'm gonna talk about, and then Raph, man, you can just add to it. Really gonna kind of just chop it up a little bit and not just run through like a talk, whatever. Or a sermon, but it'll be more of a conversation between me and you. So I would say the first thing, man, if you're gonna split time, specifically talking about splitting time with your family, you're gonna see the grandparents, you're gonna see the wife's folks, and then your folks or whatever. First thing that you need to do is you have to make sure that y'all are on the same page. The husband and the wife, y'all have to be on the same page. It don't matter what anybody else is saying. Then no. It doesn't matter what anybody else is demanding or requiring of you. You and your wife have to be on the same page. Because this was gonna happen, Raph. This was gonna happen. The Christmas holiday is gonna be over, and y'all gonna have to still go home. Y'all still gonna have to sleep in the same bed. Y'all still gonna have to live in the same house. So at the end of the day, if y'all ain't on the same page, it's gonna be a lot of drama in the house that can be unnecessary. And so, man, this starts off with just a conversation. What are we talking about? What are we going to do? What are our plans? What do you want? What do you want to do? How you want to do that, man? For me, one of the things that I kind of leaned on, and I lean on this a lot for just my life becoming a grown up anyway, is the idea in Genesis chapter 2 verses 23 through 24. I think mostly on 24, and it talks about. Says this in verse 24. It says, "This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united as one." And so this idea of not that we're like forsaking our families, not that we're saying like, hey, forget y'all or whatever, but this idea, this thinking of, hey, now my wife is my priority, right? My family is my priority. What's best for my wife, what's best for my kids, what's best for whatever. And this whole idea of figuring that out. And that can only be found out, that can only be figured out with the conversation with you guys, since you're watching, between you and your wife. And y'all have to agree to that. What do you say about that part, man? The first point, man, it's just making sure you're on the same page.
Yeah, bro. I think expectations are the biggest thing, so making sure you guys are on the same page is good. So me and my wife, we've been married for 8 years now. And I still, I don't know how long you guys have been married, you and Monica, but even in 8 years, going on 13. So we've been together for 13, but not married for 13. So you got a whole another, just kind of resume of just experience that we don't have, which for me, expectations are big, and you realize it, once you in it and you didn't have it, and it's just like, we wasn't on the same. You was wanting to spend this much time, and I wasn't really trying to be with your family. You know what I mean? And I think that, she's just like, well, I want you to be with my family, and I want us to spend a lot of time. Well, what about my family? I want to be with them. And so, setting those expectations on the front end, not when you get there. Yeah, that's definitely clutch. It'll keep you from a lot of heartache and intense, loving conversation.
Yeah, man. And like I said, because you said, you always want to make sure that you have that conversation before, make sure that y'all are connected before, because it's weird when you're sitting there and you at your in-laws, and you just like, you trying to like hint, like,
let's go.
oh man, nah, y'all talk about that, straight up. Just be like, hey, we're gonna stay here, we're gonna stay tonight, or we're gonna stay for 2 or 3 hours and whatever, and we're gonna flow, we're gonna go to the next crew, we're gonna go to the next whatever. And that's something, man, that this had to be figured out. And me and my wife, we are on the same page. Man, it's different every year. Every year is something that's different, depending on the holiday, depending on where we're going, depending on who's in town, depending on what family is coming and stuff like that. So it's the fluid type of thing that you have to be talking about, which leads to the next point, man, is that you have to be fair, right? You have to be fair when it comes to you and your wife, man. Y'all have to be fair how you spend your time, and fairness that comes with that conversation, right? That comes with that conversation of like, hey, can we spend this much time? Yada yada yada. Some people may be, because my wife, she more of a homebody than me. I'm not that big of a home, like I ain't gotta be, in certain places. And my mama done got onto me, and my pops and talked to me about it, and I'm like I ain't gotta be, whatever. Especially when I was younger, when I was first moving out, I just wanted to be my own man, right? I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to do that, and it was like, you ain't gotta. Basically, you ain't gotta grow up that fast. I'm like, I'm cool with it. It's fine. But my wife loves being at home. She loves a full house of people. She loves it when all the family is in there, and I'm just like, I love my family, but I ain't gotta have all that, right? And so it's just something that we had to get on the same page, man. We kind of had to just be fair with each other, because here's the thing, man. Like, all of us are selfish, just people in general, right? I think that devotion that you sent me, that was talking about the Advent, it talked about our individual kingdoms and how a lot of times we want our kingdom to win over other people's kingdom and even above God's kingdom. So we get so focused on what we want and how we want things to look that we miss out on what other people are trying to say, or what other people are trying to feel, all that kind of stuff, man. Because we're so focused on ourselves. And I think that's even beyond like just the holiday stuff. That's just marriage, right? It's making sure that we are being fair, make sure that we are having those conversations, and making sure that we're not making the whole marriage or everything we do about what I want and about my needs. Because when we do that, man, that's just, kind of go back to what we talked about last time about outserving each other.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I think that that's a point that that needs to be fleshed out a little bit, because sometimes when we think about fairness, we think 50-50, we think, hey, there's no compromise or no sacrifice. But if this is really the men to men, podcast ministry, as a man, especially as a husband, like, you are the one to go first. You are the one to sacrifice. You are the one to say, like, hey, fairness actually means me dying in this area or not doing this thing that I desire to do or want to do for the sake of my wife and loving my wife. And so sometimes for us, it's more like, hey, look, like, yeah, we're gonna spend time with family. I know you really desire to be with your family for this amount of time. I would love a little more. I would love a little compromise here. But if somebody is gonna compromise, it need to be us.
Yeah.
If somebody's gonna say, hey, look, there needs to be a sacrifice in order for us to actually make this work, because there ain't no way you're gonna be able to spend equal amount of time unless we talking about 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Especially with us, we coming from Houston, so we not finna be in Mississippi for a full week. We ain't finna
Right.
be there. So I can't see your brother. You got 10 brothers. We ain't about to see everybody. And I got all this family. So it's like at some point, fairness for men is like, hey, what's fair is actually me thinking of you and serving you in this way. And that doesn't mean that you obviously always get the short end of the stick, but it is like, hey, if we're gonna end up compromising and making a sacrifice, it's gonna be a sacrifice for both of us, but I'm gonna make that first step. I'm gonna take that first step.
Yeah. And I think too, that's part of being a man, part of being a husband, part of being a dad is that we are the ones who are we should always be willing to sacrifice our wants and what we desire first. And I know some guys may not agree with that, right? Because we're selfish, right? We want what we want in our relationship. We want what we want in our marriage. We want what we want in the bedroom. We want what we want at wherever. We want that. And if we don't get it, we mad, right? If we don't get it, we whatever. But as soon as we always want our wives to sacrifice something. We want them to give up something, man. Like, flip that, man. Let's make us the first ones who are inconvenienced. Let's make us the first ones. Let's be like Christ, right? And sacrifice things first in order to be the greater good for our families. And listen, there are going to be times where we're going to have those conversations where we need to talk, where it may be in some situations where a wife may take advantage of that. But hey, at the end of the day, like your heart has to be in the right place. If it gets to that point where it's like, things are not really fair and it's like kind of abusive or whatever, there needs to be some kind of conversation. But probably most of the people watching this one, man, like you the one tripping as the husband, right? You the one that's like most of the time, man. When I look back at most of the conflict, most of the arguments, most of the disagreements that me and my wife have, I can lead it back to me being selfish, right? I can lead it back to, man, if I would have just chilled out, that wouldn't have gotten there. If I would have just said sorry first, that wouldn't have gotten there. If I was the one who didn't say that certain thing that I know was gonna tick her off, like this could have been better or whatever. And it usually leads back to us, man. And then we're gonna dive into more of that kind of stuff here in a little bit. But man, I think that too is, man, is us being willing to always make that sacrifice first before we ask our wives to.
You talking, Doc? Because I mean, I think that there's a lot there. Because I think and we're gonna talk about this obviously, so I want you to get there to it. But just the idea of like, for us as sinners, as broken men, if we don't ever see ourselves in a situation and the ways that we might be the problem, we really be smelling ourselves. We really be thinking like we that dude. And the Lord be like, nah, and he's gonna always do that, bro. He's gonna always do that. And if he's not doing that in that moment, in that time, you need to check yourself. I don't care how right you might think that you are. There is something present there. It is like we always think about how we're showing up outwardly, but there are all of these internal battles, things that we're dealing with that we ain't communicating. And if we're honest, we've suppressed, so we don't even know. So like we've got to be like David in the Psalms, Lord, help if there's any grievous way in me in this moment. Even as I think that I'm right, Lord, bring it, and God will bring it out every single time, bro. Like, I mean, if you got that communion with the Lord, because let's just be honest, sometimes the problem is we ain't really been communing with the Lord, and because we ain't been communing with God, my guy, we do not see, because as you grow, what I love about the gospel is that as you grow, and we about to talk about it, but I got to bring it out. As you
Yeah,
grow
you good.
in an awareness of Christ and the cross, right? You're growing in seeing Jesus as the most beautiful, wonderful, most valuable, precious thing. What also is going to be growing is your awareness of your sin and your brokenness. And as you're aware more of Christ and your brokenness, the only thing that's going to merge that gap, that's going to bridge that gap, is the cross. So I'm just like, hey, if this is not happening in your life daily, in your relationship, in your marriage, in all of its facets, in all of its moments, then there's something off on your end, brother.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you're wrong. It's not your wife. It's actually, you can't even control your wife.
Right. Nope.
But what you can control.
Nope.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Right.
Doc. You
man.
preaching.
That's good. My pops, right? He says right here. He says after 37 years, 11 months, and 3 days of marriage, I totally agree with the sacrifice. Happy spouse, happy house, man. That's just
flex, pops. 37 years.
37 years. Bro.
I'm 33.
Yep.
Yep. Man, praise God.
I'm 35. I'm
35. Shout out to pops. Hey, we don't honor that enough. Praise God for 37 years. That's something that we hope as men of God that we can also, it can also be a testament for us. 37 years later. Sacrifice. Hey, that's weighty right
one
there.
thing too, man. I think one thing too, man. I know we're getting off in the rabbit hole, but I think it'd be good.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
For a lot, I think for newer marriages right now, I think a lot of why it doesn't last long, a lot of why they want to get cut short is because a lot of the men, maybe even the women, but we talking to you guys, go in with the idea of a divorce, right? That's always an option, right? If I don't like certain things, if things don't go like I had planned out, I can just opt out. I can bow out, right? And legally, yes, that is an option. But I remember, man, one of the main things that we learned, we went through marital counseling with Norris Taylor back at West Point, man. And one of the main things that they drilled during marital counseling is that divorce is not an option. It just isn't, right? And they gave all these scenarios, man. He gave a scenario about, man, like what if she cheat on you, man? What if she cheat on you and another woman? And we had to process, why would she have done that? What did I do that would lead her to feel like she needed to step out, right? What did I do to make her feel unwanted or unloved or whatever? And it's something I need to work on, something I need to process. And so the idea was during that premarital counseling, was that, like, if you're not willing to do this thing for the rest of your life, this may not be what y'all need to do right now. Just straight up. If you're going into marriage thinking, man, I give it a strong 10, maybe 15 years, she'll be out of shape by the end. I'll be tired of her. Them kids gonna be getting on my nerves. Then we can just separate or whatever. All right, yeah, okay, cool, that's cool. No, but you have to go into this thing like, yo, it's for life. Like through hell, high water, through whatever is going on, sickness and health, like all the vows, all that kind of stuff. Like you gonna stick with it, right? And that's the thing, man. My parents, man, they'll tell they can tell you this story if y'all know it, man. Like it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always easy. Those 37 years weren't always easy for them. It wasn't just butterflies and rainbows the whole time. It was some struggles. It was things they had to work out. It's things, ups and downs, sticking to those vows through sickness and health, through all that hard time, man. That's what they had to do. Man,
hey man,
you have to, my wife says here, you have to remove the out clause. Like it can't be an option.
Let's go.
It can't be an option. So if you about to get married right now and you think about, hey, divorce can be an option, y'all ain't ready. I say you ain't ready,
bro.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all need to wait.
Can I take it a step further a bit? Because we talk about
in the rabbit hole now,
we
so
talk
let's
about,
just go. We all
we in it. We might as well just go ahead and just flesh that thing out there. I mean, I feel like the thing for men, right? And this is going to, so Paul talks about, hey, there are all these reasons to get married, right? And there are all these reasons to not get married, right? Like if you're single, you got more ability to be able to be used by God, do things without having to consult and counsel and think about and steward, this relationship with this other spouse. And he also says, hey, if you are, if you're burning, if you have these passions that you just can't control, hey, it probably be good for you to think about getting married. But what I want you to know, brother, if you're watching this, hey, that might be a reason, and that might be permissible, and it might really help you out in some end. But if you're not going into marriage and with the reality and the thought that I've got to die, like if death is an option for you, like that you get to live and just do whatever you want and things be fine and you can just be lazy and all of those things, you might want to think twice about it, because it is not going to go well. You're going to find as a husband too, as a man too, like it's just there's a podcast out there. I know we're talking about being fair. I know that's kind of part of the thought, but there's a podcast. If y'all ever get a chance, just put it in the search box on YouTube. Being a husband is unfair. Man, when I tell you that podcast ran through me, because like you said, like as husbands, when we don't get our way, as men, when we don't get our way, when things don't happen the way that we think, we end up getting mad and all of these things. And pretty much what the dude is saying in the podcast is you got to die. And the moment that you don't die, that's when the problems arise. And so if you're getting into marriage, you think that divorce is an option, and you think that being not dying to yourself is an option too. You might not want to get in that thing, brother, because you're just gonna have problems after problem, and you are gonna be the reason why your marriage doesn't last. Not your spouse. Let's just go ahead. Let's walk with you, because you're supposed to be the spiritual leader of the home. You're supposed to be the one setting the example and the model. And hey, yeah, your wife should do those things, but if she don't, it's still on you. And bro, you bring out so many points. You're gonna talk about this, I might hold this point. But we're talking about Genesis, and you brought up Genesis 2. But I think too, when we look at Adam and Eve as the picture, and this is more like going toward, I'll bring this back up when we talk about repentance. But whenever that happened, whenever Eve bit the apple, she was the first one to do it. God didn't go to Eve first.
Nope.
He went to Adam. He said, "Hey, bro,
yo, Adam, where you at?
What you doing, my boy? Like, no, this ain't like Adam. Like you weren't man in the post. Yeah, you weren't like you were right there allowing this to happen. You got to be the one. You got to be the one to go first. And it's just it's built. God has built it in that way for men. And so, hey, brother, I know it's hard. I know it's a hard truth. I know it's something you don't want to hear. I know you want your spouse to take a little bit more, but hey, the Lord is putting that on you. Yeah. Let me stop right there. Let me stop.
Yeah, man. Hey, we talked about this last time. I think last time we was on the podcast with you and Micah, we talked about how that's our responsibility, our core purpose for living as a man is to be responsible. Right? Adam first was he was created by God, and he was automatically given responsibility to take care of the garden, right? Take care of the garden. He was given Eve, right? It was his responsibility to lead her, right? And then kids and all this kind of stuff, even after the sin issues and all this kind of stuff, responsibility. As a man, you are responsible. As a husband, you are responsible. It's always on you. And it's a lot of pressure, but it's just the truth, man. And I love it. I love it. Like sometimes it stinks, sometimes it sucks, man, to always have that responsibility to be responsible and to lead well. Because at times I want to be selfish. I want to do what I want to do. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, this life ain't mine. This ain't mine. This breath, this body, this flesh isn't mine. This family ain't even mine. My wife isn't mine. Like my daughter isn't mine. Like I've been given the honor to steward this relationship with my wife. I've been given the honor to steward her relationship with God. I've been given the honor to help steward the relationship that my daughter will eventually have with God. Like it's a privilege, man. And it ain't easy. Jeez. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But at the end of the day, man, get the help you need. Fuss with whoever you want to fuss with. Vent with whoever you need to vent with. At the end of the day, you still responsible. They're still your kids, they're still your wife. You still need to to lead well. And that's what this whole
Mm.
podcast is about, is to help you with that, man. You're not by yourself. You're not by
Yeah,
yourself.
come on.
We here, right here.
Come
Us and all the
Yeah.
people watching, and all the people watching on the replay, man. We here. And so,
Yeah.
last thing, man, as far as that, we'll dive into some more do's and don'ts for your marriage. Man, we diving deep today, y'all. I hope y'all ready. We've been here for an hour. It's okay. Y'all, if
Love
y'all
it.
need to take a little break, just can. If you need to take a break, by the way, if you're taking a break, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are on YouTube, you can
Yeah.
leave a comment down below as well, because we're going to be having some more advice for those of you who've been married for a while to help the young bucks out, right?
Help us.
And
Yeah.
then also if you're watching anywhere else, man, just make sure that you are connected. All right. Next thing, man. Last thing that talk about splitting Christmas with your family and being fair and all this kind of stuff. At the end of it all, between you and your wife, y'all need to understand. You need to understand that you're not going to make everybody happy, right?
Right.
Even if you work it out to a T where it's okay with y'all that, hey, we'll spend this much time at your folks, and then we'll spend this much time at my folks, stuff like that. At the end of the day, man, everybody ain't gonna be happy about the decision that you make, right? Grandparents are gonna want to see grandkids for a certain amount of time. Mamas will want to see sons and daughters for a certain time. Daddy's gonna want to see daughters and sons for a certain amount of time. Aunties and uncles who ain't seen you for a while may want to see you or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, you have to do what's best for you and your family. If people are gonna be upset, people are gonna be mad. It just is what it is. It ain't no love lost.
Yeah.
It ain't no, you ain't gotta be mean about it. You ain't gotta be like, I don't want to come hang out with y'all. I'm doing whatever. You have your standard, you have what you and your wife agree on, and you stand on that, and if depending on your family, depending on the kind of people that you're dealing with, they might try to make you feel bad about it. Whatever. It's okay. It's all right. They're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay, because you'll see them when it's the time to go see them and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you and your wife will have to go back to the house. Y'all gonna have to sleep in that same bed. And then to lower any drama or anything like that, man, you have to make sure, that y'all are on the same page. And understand everybody ain't gonna be happy about that, man. All right.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, cool, man. So let's move on to some do's and don'ts, man. We're gonna close out with some do's and don'ts. We can run through these, man. And if the Lord take over again, we're here for another 30 minutes. Y'all, it's cool. It's cool, man. Y'all just take over the Lord. Take over right here. We got some more comments coming in here. Who's this? Brooke? Is this my cousin? Who is it? Brooke.
Come on, family.
Love that. We'll give honors to be in the families. I'm reading that all wrong, but there you go, right there. Cool. Thank you for the comment right there. I was trying to read it. This stuff all in the way, man. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do some do's and don'ts for marriage, right? This is beyond the holidays. You are going into a new year. Maybe y'all trying to work on some things in your marriage. Here's things that I think, especially for newlyweds and anybody that's been married for, I say 5 years. Matter of fact, I think this is just good for married couples, period. Right?
Facts.
The first thing you have to do, this is one of the main things I remember from premarital counseling, is this first tip. The first tip is that you have to keep your family out of your marriage problems, right? This is something that was big to me, because for me, man, I talked to my dad about everything when I was growing up, girls, all this kind of stuff, man. And we went through premarital counseling, and then I kind of bucked back a little bit. I was like, man, you need somebody to talk to and stuff like that. And it may be good, depending on your circumstance, depending on who you're talking to have somebody that you can talk to. But at the end of the day, man, if you ain't talking to your wife about the problems you have with your wife, like, that's not good, right? Here's the example that they gave us, right? They said, let's imagine the situation. You're mad at your wife, right? You mad at her because she didn't do something which was probably your fault anyway, if you sit back and think about it, but she didn't do something. So you go and fuss to your mom or fuss to your dad about what your wife did, right? So your mom and your dad get mad. I can't believe she did that. Yada, yada, yada. You so good to her. Yada, 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 yada. So you got your mom, your dad, your cousin, your auntie, your best friend, dog's cousin mad at your wife. But then later on, you and your wife talk about it. You settle it. Everything is good. But guess what? Mama, daddy, auntie, sisters, cousins that you told all that stuff when you was mad, they still mad at her, right? Yeah. So you come to the family gathering 3 months later, they still mad about something she said 3 months ago, and y'all done forgot about it, right? Then it
Yeah.
causes a whole bunch of issues and stuff like that, man. So that's one thing that I thought was good, because that's one thing for like me and my wife, man. When we get upset with each other, one thing that we do is we make sure that we talk to each other, right? Even though it may take a minute, and you may be like, you know, you come up later, you be like, man, like, I'm sorry, you know, what you say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I said what I said, you know, whatever it is. But we try to resolve things as quickly as possible. I know
Yeah.
for us, man, the whole going to bed mad at each other, the whole like you go sleep on the couch thing, like that don't fly. That's a no fly zone in my house. We don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
Like, bro, but I tell you what, I stay up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I won't go to sleep. I'll be mad, but I won't go to sleep, man. And that's how it used to be, man. But it's certain things now, man. I say, man, you know what? It ain't even really worth being mad. It's really ain't.
Right.
And I'll go, even if I don't feel like it was all my fault, I still may have said something that caused the issue to get to where it didn't need to get to, right? And so at the end of the day, you know, your family, and like I said, it may be different depending on the situation, but I say as a good golden rule, as a good nugget, man, just keep your family out of your business, right? Out of your marriage. I just really think that's just a good thing, man. What about you? You agree or disagree? What you think?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And I think it goes back to one of the first points that we talked about as far as like, you know, Christmas, like how to set that up as far as splitting Christmas time. Like you got to talk about those expectations with your spouse, but you also have to have those hard conversations with your family. And I know that was something that we had to learn early on and was still kind of dealing with for a couple of years, where it was just like, hey, look, like we know y'all want to add in some commentary, but like, nah, like that's not how we gonna rock here. And then like, hey, look, like when I'm talking to my spouse, like, you know, hey, I know you kind of similar. My wife, you know, her best friend is her mom. And it's just like, shout out to Miss Lisa, love you. But it's just like, hey, we used to have, you know, conversations around that. Like you can't talk to them about every single thing, and we haven't resolved it here. Like, and I think too, like, especially when I was going through the dating phase, it was like that was kind of okay, but now y'all not dating no more. Like this is your spouse. Like you've left that family now to now work through and resolve these things between you two first. Like, hey, look. And I think, man, that's definitely something that's needed. But I also think, in addition to that, like, hey, work it out. But if you cannot work it out, get somebody trusted and faithful, maybe not a family member, a pastor or a therapist, and bring them in so that you can work through those things. Because sometimes, like as men, like we just don't be seeing the ways that we, you know, messing up and not thinking through certain things, and we need an outside voice. But hey, you need to do the work first. Like, don't just be coming in that thing, you ain't did nothing. But I think that too, like, you know, it is good to bring in a voice that's trusted, not your best friend that can take your side, not your mama who gonna take your side. You know, get somebody on the outside, non-biased, but also somebody that you can trust and know that they're gonna give you some solid truth. They're not just gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Right. And I think that's it. And I think for a lot of people, I don't think our close family is that person. I don't think it should be, honestly.
Right.
But like you said, I think it should be somebody who is unbiased, somebody who you know, can hear both sides of the story. If it gets to that, most of the drama, most of the just stupid, silly stuff that we fight or fuss about, you know, it can be resolved within whatever. Me and my wife, we was fighting. We didn't even fighting. We just fussing about something stupid. Something about like how the grits was made. I don't know. Just it'd be little silly stuff like that. It was like, while I'm sitting here,
you
mad
put sugar in
like
my grits.
Right? Like she don't like my grits today because they a little soupy. I knew it was a little soupy. I'm just mad that she just recognized that they were soupy and that they didn't turn out like I liked them. Hilarious. So I get mad and do all that kind of stuff. And it'd be silly stuff right here. My cousin Brooke, she says this right here. She says that they have a 2-hour be mad and get glad window. You get 2 hours to be in your feelings, and then we are dealing with it and moving on. No sun goes down solid on our wrath.
That's solid, bro. Hey, can I just add this comment? I think that that's a good point. I think that it is good to have that 2-hour window because it allows you space to be human. Okay, like, hey, look, I know that you're emotional about this and you deserve some time as a human to process through that. Like, you can't just, because I'm not that person. I'm not the person all of a sudden, hey, my wife would get in an argument that she'd be like, all right, let's cuddle. I don't want you to be close with me, girl.
That's me.
Give me a second. And so we always, kind of have that tension at times where I'm like, hey, I definitely want to reconcile. I definitely I still love you. I love you because I'm still here.
Right.
And we got 3 kids. Child support would be wild. But
in one other way.
One on the way. Your boy ain't helping himself out, boy. The Bible said, "Be fruitful and multiply." I'm just trying to honor God. But anyways, but I think that 2-hour window is great because it allows you the opportunity to process through, and for men too. Like, we don't process through our emotions. We don't even be knowing how we be feeling at times, and so to have that time to really flesh that out. But then, hey, your 2 hours is up. You had there is a time to be mad. I don't think that's Bible, but there's a time to grieve, obviously, and lament. All these things, emotional. There's a time to, and now's the time to, hey, let's get to work now. Hey, you done had your time.
Right.
Let's stop wallowing in it.
And that's facts,
Brooke,
man.
solid.
That's
solid.
Yeah, that's so solid because, like you said, like the raw emotion that we feel when we get ticked off. Right, that's legit. Those are legit feelings that we do need to work through. And like at times when your wife says something that she know gonna tick you off, or you say something to her that like I said, that's gonna make her mad. I'm gonna say it, right? They gonna need time to chill out. You're gonna catch an elbow to the eye or something like that, right? And it's good to process and to think about that. And especially for me, man, I get upset. I get real mad when my wife tells me things that I know I needed to hear. And it ain't like I'm really mad at her. I'm really mad at myself, but I'm mad that she told me without me asking her about it. Kind of deal. When you sit back and you really think about it, you be like, man, what she said was factual, right? That was legit. I am tripping, right? And you get that time to process that, and you come back and be like, yo, I'm sorry I got mad, this and that, or whatever. You have to process through that. So, Brooke, I like that. I know for me and my wife, man, I don't think we've been mad at each other for a long time like that, like for a while. Like, it was like dating days when we were like mad for multiple hours or whatever. But when we were married, man, we do pretty good at settling things pretty quickly. She better than me. Because it don't take much. I mean, it take a lot to make me upset. But when I'm mad, like I'm mad for I can be mad for like weeks if I don't follow this rule, right? I can be mad, and then I think about other stuff that made me mad. Then I pile that on top of the stuff the other made me mad last time she said this, and that. And so I have to cut. I know that about myself. I have to cut that off. I have to, tame that angry green giant inside and be like, you know what? Nope. I'm finna apologize, even though I know she the one who started it or whatever. However I feel about it, I'm a kill it, and I'm gonna make sure this is good and this is done. My wife, man, she be good, and she'll be fine quicker. She like, boy, ain't nobody worry about you, right?
Yeah.
And she be like, you gonna come around when you ready. And she don't stay mad, man. She just don't, man. And I think that's good, right to have that, man. Yeah.
Hey, we gotta turn this into a couple of more episodes, because I mean, you speaking. Paul says, hey, my aim in life is not to please man, and I would add not to please self, but my aim is to please God. So as we're like doing all of these things, dying to ourselves, killing that monster inside of us, it's not because we want our spouse. We want to reconcile. We want our spouse to be happy and joyful, and we want that relationship to be peaceful. We want to keep the unity, but more than that, like we want to please God and continue the communion that we have with Him, and everything flows from that. So, it's like, hey, like the reason why I'm doing this is not even necessarily because I want you to experience that, but I also want to experience forgiveness from God and communion with Him, and I want to do this for Him. And when I want to do that for Him, I also want to do it for you. Like there's no question about it. Like it's a natural flow of, you know, my relationship with the Lord just bleeds into everything. So I'm doing all of these things, all of these hard things, because I want to please God. And when I please God, I please my wife.
Yeah. And man, I think that's good, man. That was my timer to stop, but we're gonna keep it rolling. It's good. We got some more comments. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but thank you for your comment. She said it just randomly came across her feed, man. That's a little work. It might be something you need to hear. Your husband or your boyfriend need to hear. I don't know.
Send it to him. Hey,
work.
Send it to all the men in your life.
Yeah, send it to him. So here's the thing, man. Man, you made a good point. Go back to that point you said, because you said something that I wanted to piggyback off of. What was the last thing you said?
As far as like pleasing God, like it's more about pleasing God.
Pleasing God
than anything.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, my goal for my marriage is to honor God, right?
Come on.
I think a lot of times men get in trouble, specifically with like cheating and specifically with like different things like that, because they base what they do and what they don't do based off of what their wife does or what they don't do, right? So if my wife ticked me off, she made me mad, we don't have sex for a month or so, and I get mad at her, I'm gonna go find somebody that can do that for me, right? I'm gonna go find somebody that can help me do that, because that's how I feel right now, because you ain't doing your job, so I'm gonna do this. And so we base our foundation and our standards off of each other instead of off of God. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how mad I get at my wife, right? I don't care how wrong she may be. I don't care how, according to the world standards, how justified I am to go cheat, or justified I am to say hurtful things to her, how justified I am to divorce her, or how justified I am to X, Y, Z. At the end of the day, my standard isn't her, it's God. My marriage is the health of my marriage is based off of my relationship with God. And if what I'm about to do, or what I want to do, or what I plan to do is dishonoring to God, then don't do it. Right?
Yeah.
Because it don't matter. Like if that is if God is the center, if God is the foundation of not just your marriage, of your life, your standards are high. Right? Your standards are high. And so no matter how ticked off you get, no matter what happens, no matter how she acts, no matter whatever, your response should be based off of the standards that God has set, not that you have set in your mind, and not even the things that you and your wife may have set in your marriage, right? And so, and that should just be the core of our lives, guys, because this whole thing is about honoring God with every single part of our lives. Our foundation and our reason for doing things and not doing things should be based off of a relationship with God and the foundation of His word. That's going to keep us out of a lot of trouble. That's going to keep us married for 50, 100 million years. That's going to keep our families healthy. That's going to keep our relationship with God rolling when we base our lives off of the Bible and not off of what we feel. That's what gets a lot of guys in trouble. They justify their actions based off of what their wife has done or hasn't done, and they say it's okay because of the XYZ. That's why marriages fail. That's why marriages fails. That's why marriages suck. Is because guys are basing that off of what they think and not off of what the Bible says. It's crazy, man. Come on now, man.
That's why you in the doghouse right now. That's why y'all better be watching.
I'm Jesus,
you, my boy. Yeah, that's good,
man. I think that's good, man. And we can talk about things like the doghouse and sleeping on the couch and stuff like that. Like I said earlier, man, I really honestly don't think that needs to be an option. I really don't think that needs to be an option.
That mortgage too high for me to be on the couch. We got a king size bed.
Right.
It's enough room for us both.
Right. No, you need to work it out.
Hopefully we reconcile. We need to work it out.
That's need to work it out, man. And like I said, there are, like Rafa said earlier, there are instances and situations, man, where seriously, man, counselors, pastors, and different things like that, outside voice, it needs to happen. That's just I mean, it's a thing for a reason. But at the core of a lot of just basic stuff, especially for new marriages and new relationships, is it's just our selfishness that we just need to work out. It's just the things that we need to get over ourselves and seek to honor God in our marriage and not honor ourselves and get what we want out of it. So, dude,
you got to get back to the vows, man.
Go back to
I'm
the.
just saying,
Oh,
like,
that reminds me. Go ahead, and I'm pull up what I had earlier.
nah. I was just making the point, just the added comment of like, I think that it's just good to go back to them vows. Like when you go back
Mm-hmm.
to the marriage vows and you remember what you said when all of the things were pretty and great and the feelings were there and your wife is beautiful and you got everybody surrounding you, you remember what you said when you made those vows, for better or for worse. Like, hey, for richer or for poor, like, hey, no matter what, like, hey, you're committed to this person, so you got to work it out. You don't have the option. You said I do. I do. I really. And I think for some of us, covenant, that idea of covenant is lost on us. Like we just think that, hey, this is something that we can simply say and not really mean, and there's not a commitment. Like when we look at the covenant, and what's lost to us too is that there's not just two people that come together in the union or in the marriage, especially initially and hopefully throughout, but it is you, your spouse, and God. And you're not just making a covenant with another human that's broken. You're making a covenant with God. And when God makes covenants, he's serious. He's committed. He's truly committed. He's so committed that when we're not committed, he's still committed. And so we got to be reminded of covenant. We got to be reminded of the vows. We got to be reminded that, hey, this was more than just words that we were saying. Now we have the opportunity in this moment of tension, in this moment where we're experiencing all of this strife and anger, we've got an opportunity to actually apply the things that we said on this day, that we're supposed to be more than just mere word. The reason why we wear the ring and we don't take it off is because it is a symbol. It is symbolic of the union and the commitment that we're to have together. Like it's not going anywhere. Like, hey, we are committed no matter what. That was all I had to say, man. That was just to add a comment. What was the thing that you were thinking about?
And I'm just add to this, man. I think marriages grow. Marriages are develop into those 37, 40, 50 year iconic marriages that happens through those tough times. That's why the vows are so important, man. And I had notes of what I was gonna say, but it's more based off of what we talked about earlier. Where we talked about the family, leaving and cleaving, leaving your family, men leaving your family and coming to your wives. And it talks about, I lost it. Hold on a second. All right. Where it talks about the part of the vows, where it talks about forsaking all others. And when I was thinking about those vows, this is kind of backtracking a little bit for those of you maybe tuning in a little bit later. We talked about splitting time with your family during the holidays, but for forsaking all others and committing yourself to your wife. When I read those vows, and I've done weddings and stuff like that, I've always thought that meant like, hey, I'm just not going to cheat, right? I'm just not going to have sex with another woman, right? But like the idea of really forsaking others is that idea of Genesis chapter 2 verse 24, where it says a man leaves his mother and father and it becomes one with his wife, forsaking all of those other relationships to fully be committed to that one relationship that's most important. So that goes beyond, not cheating. That goes beyond that, but not letting your family rule your marriage, not letting other people and your friends and their opinions rule your marriage, forsaking all others, forgetting all of what they're saying. Right? It's not we ignore good advice, but we're not basing our marriage off of all of that, but we're coming in all together. And we both agree that, hey, the foundation of this marriage is going to be built on the word of God, and not on other people, man. So that's just one thing, just kind of backtracking to what we talked about earlier today. All right, we had a question right here, and maybe you can answer this right here. It says, what does it look like to stand biblically for your marriage during rough time? What does that look like, man?
Yeah, I guess I would need kind of some context on what technically is the rough time. But I mean, I think that regardless of whatever it might be, I think to be committed to your spouse, and not commitment to just like a verbal commitment. Like I'm committed, but I'm still trash. I still say what I want to say. I still say all of these slick things. But I think that, it's, hey, I am committed to you regardless of how you come at like me, or how this experience kind of fleshes itself out. I think to love your spouse, not saying I'm just gonna approve and allow you to talk crazy and to be south, but hey, we're gonna confront, we're gonna engage, and I'm gonna do this in a way that's gracious. Like, I know how you're wired. I know, those things that get you upset. I'm not going to say the things that my flesh wants me to say.
Right.
I'm going to say the things that the Lord wants me to say, and I'm going to say it in a way and at a time and a space that's going to be conducive, knowing who you are. So I think it's a matter of being committed and saying, hey, look, like I don't just do this because I think it's the right thing. I do this because like the Lord has done this for me. And I think the more we think about like how do we stand biblically, we think more about what God has done for us. And that's how we show up in that space. We're going to choose to show up in this moment the ways in which God did. And so, hey, he was committed and pursued me when I wasn't pursuing him. And so I'm here. It's rough. My spouse ain't pursuing me in this way, but I'm still called because Christ did. Like, and because he went first, because he did this first, because he modeled it, and he's presented me help. Like, the way to stand is to know that you're not hopeless, to know that the marriage is not completely out of hand to where God can't redeem that thing. Like, hey, I know that the people of God were acting crazy for 40 years while they were in the wilderness, but God was still committed and showed provision and proximity. He didn't leave them. I think that all of those things kind of come to mind, but I also think that that's a nuanced thing depending on the situation. Like, man, there are so many ways that we can show up biblically, but I think ultimately, if I was to take like a broad aim and stab at it, I would say, hey, I would look at the ways that God has engaged his people and say that is the model for us in that relationship, especially marriage. Marriage is the one relationship that mirrors the relationship between Christ and his church. Like the way in which a man should serve his wife, his bride, is in the way that Christ has served his bride, the church. He gave himself up for the church. He made himself a present help in time of need for the church. And so for the man, at least, I'm saying that. And I think for the wife too, I think that if she's submitted to her husband and he's submitted to God, and even if she's just submitted to God, I'd say her husband's not even submitted to God, she's submitted to God. I think that you have to look at Christ. You have to look at the ultimate model and say, this is how I'm supposed to show up. I know the world would say, hey, look, get yours, sweetie. Like, you should be gone. You got plenty of reason to leave him. He ain't no good. He ain't got no job. He ain't bringing nothing to the table. But it's like, hey, remember, you brought nothing to the table. When we talk about our relationship with the Lord, you brought nothing and he brought everything. And so it's a hard word. And I think that it is a nuanced word because, hey, when we start talking about abuse and other things, like there's other things to say about that. But I think in general, if this is a general question, I think that's the general thought. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say in a general sense, man, kind of go back to what I said before. Your foundation has to be what God says, right? Through the arguments, through the hard times, through the frustrations, your reactions, your responses to the issues has to be soaked and bathed in the truth of God.
Come on.
And I think that when we stay there, no matter how the spouse may be acting, that helps the situation to not get worse, right? And then two, depending on the situation, like we talked about earlier, if other people need to come into the mix, counselors, pastors, and stuff like that, that's kind of a case-by-case basis. But generally, man, if your goal as the man or the wife is to honor God and to make sure that he's the foundation of the relationship, I think that is a great start for things just becoming better anyway. Because if you're
Yeah.
both of your focus on God and stop focusing on yourselves, then it's naturally going to get better, right? Things are naturally going to continue to work out, and then you just keep going on. My wife says that counseling is so important. It's so helpful at times, man. I'm saying,
And I feel like if we're talking about rough time, like I think that, you know, that might be a little more than just, and you know, we had an argument about what couch we should get. You know, I think that that's more of like, hey, you know, he's struggling with his love for me, commitment. There are things there, you know, struggle. And as men, like, you know, women, I think, you know, obviously we are, I just know, like, we are prideful, you know, and there are some spaces where we can just be prideful and not ever have to confront that or engage that. And at times, like when you do bring somebody else in, especially somebody that can speak truth and be direct and honest, and that man actually respects that person and is like, I really, you know, want to hear what he has to say, the guard comes down. You kind of have to be more vulnerable. You know, I think that, you know, that is helpful once you get to that point. Because if you're saying, hey, I've done all of those things, you know, I've tried to engage, I've, you know, spent time in prayer with the Lord, all those things are present, but he's still acting up. Well, you might be at a space where, hey, get some help. You know what I mean? Like, do not think that you can, you know, at that point, you know, do it yourself, because you've done all those things. And I think, you know, some people feel like getting therapy is negative or bad, or it says that like you can't figure it out and you're trash. Well, that might be true. You might be trash, but you need help. Like, you know, just like, yes, it's meant to say like, hey, you can't do it by yourself. You know, at some point you need to realize, hey, you can't do this. You need help. Get help. You know, don't be out there allowing your marriage to die because you don't want to bring nobody else in. You know, please do.
Yeah. A couple good comments, man, that came in. Brooke said, hey, man, the best model is Christ. He's gracious to us and forgives us over and over again. So forgiveness is key. And then my wife, she says a lot of good stuff right here. She says, yes, those deep-rooted issues and traumas, I'm kind of skipping a little bit, trouble for forgiving, etc. God can definitely use wise counsel to help you get through that. I mean, we got each other for a reason, right? God put us on this earth, gave people certain skills and certain professions and stuff like that to help us out, man. Dude, I would say this was a great episode, man. We're gonna shut it off. We're gonna be on another hour, bro. And so here's the thing. Here's a little bit of homework I want y'all to do for those of you who are watching. I want you to leave in the comments, especially if you're watching this on the replay, leave in comments some things you would like for us to talk about, specifically about marriage, whether you're a newlywed or you've been married for 30, 40, 50 years, right? What is some advice that you can give, or what are some questions that you may have? Leave them down at the comments so that we can talk about that in future episodes. Obviously, this is a hot topic. People do want to talk about this, man, and people have some good advice that are going to help those who are watching this. And then also, man, if you want to be connected to what we are doing here in the Men to Men's ministry, into Men ministry, make sure that you are subscribed. I see a lot of people are coming in through YouTube on today. Subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you can know. The goal is to do this every 2 weeks and eventually probably get to every week, depending on how the Lord move in this thing, right?
Yeah.
And so make sure you connect that way. Again, you can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, James Howard Jr. for me on all platforms. Raph has a couple of different platforms that he can have out there, but you can find him on Facebook right now. So man, we'd like to thank y'all for checking in on this episode of the Men to Men podcast. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks, man. Y'all be good. Peace.
Grace and peace.